Let me say something uncomfortable. Most of the political arguments that we have every day, online, on TV, in comments, don't touch real power at all. They feel important, they feel moral, they feel urgent. But while we're busy arguing, the world keeps moving without us, and that's not because people are stupid. It's because we're taught to look in the wrong place. Here's the problem. People think that politics is about who is right, who is wrong, who is good, who is evil. So we argue about identity, we argue about history, we argue about intention. What did they mean? What did they want? What side are they really on? And it feels like we're doing something really, really important. But power doesn't work that way. Because humans and power systems live in different worlds. Humans argue meaning. Power systems operate on mechanics. Humans talk about justice, fairness, dignity, betrayal. Power systems talk about incentives, risk, cost, survival. The difference explains almost everything that confuses people today. When a bank looks at a country, a company, or a person, it doesn't ask, are they good people? Do they share my values? Do I like their politics? The bank asks, can this loan be repaid? What changed since last time? What risk am I carrying now? If the world changes, interest rates, inflation, instability, recession, the bank doesn't argue ideology, it adjusts exposure. Now, that's not morality, that is survival logic. Now, here's where people lost the plot. We look at global decisions and ask, are they betraying us? Are they punishing us? Are they choosing sides? But that is a human question. Power doesn't choose sides. Power manages risk. And when something changes suddenly, like in 2020, the entire global system reprices risk. Not emotionally, not ideologically, mechanically. And when people don't understand that, they start fighting each other instead. This is the dangerous part. While ordinary people argue, China versus the West, BRICS versus NATO, left versus right, colonialism versus capitalism, the people who actually hold power aren't arguing at all. They're just running spreadsheets. They're revising exposure. They are protecting the downside. The crowd is shouting in the stands. The game continues on the field. And to be fair, arguing meaning really feels good, because meaning gives dignity to pain. If something hurts, we want a story, a villain, a reason. That's human. But power doesn't run on stories, it runs on leverage. So you can be morally right. You can be emotionally correct. You can even be historically justified and still change nothing. This is the part nobody likes hearing. Speeches don't stop machines. Anger doesn't stop systems. Shouting doesn't change incentives. Only changing incentives does. That's why revolutions often fail, and that's why governments disappoint. That's why promises collapse, because people fight meaning, while power responds only to structure. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You stop asking who is good and start asking what incentives are actually in play. And that's not cynical, that's clarity. Because if you want to change outcomes, you first have to understand how power really works, not how we wish it worked. If this makes you uncomfortable, good. That usually means that the penny just dropped.